Hello, and welcome to this webinar recording on how to explain counseling to a child or youth. My name is Jamie Hume, and I'm one of the outreach educators here at the Dragonfly. So our goal today is to help increase your knowledge and comfortability with talking about counseling and equip parents and caregivers with the strategies to maintain open conversations. So thank you for taking the time to expand your knowledge. This can be a different topic for you, so wherever you are at, we are here to help guide those productive conversations. So first, to start this conversation, find a comfy space. Creating the right environment for this conversation is essential. It's not just about choosing a quiet or private space, but also one that feels welcoming and non-threatening. A comfy spot where you and your young person can sit together, perhaps with some pillows or even a favorite blanket. This can help ease any tension. Also, consider what time of day works best. Avoid times where your child or youth might be rushed or distracted, such as before school or bedtime. This is a time for undivided attention, so try to make it as calm and inviting as possible. You might say, "Let's sit down and talk about something important. I want to make sure we both feel relaxed so we can have a good conversation." So, what is counseling? Counseling is a safe and private time where someone, usually a licensed professional, listens to a person's thoughts and feelings without judgment. It's about working through problems in a supportive environment. Most importantly, it's a confidential space. For kids and teens, it can be especially helpful because it's often easier to talk to a neutral person rather than someone in their family about difficult feelings or situations. You could explain it like counseling is where someone trained helps people with their feelings and problems. They listen and help you understand why you feel certain ways, like being sad or mad or even scared. It's a space where you can talk about anything on your mind, and counselors help you find ways to handle those difficult emotions or situations. Counseling isn't just about talking, it's also about learning practical tools to cope with tough situations. For example, your child might learn how to manage feelings of anger or how to communicate more effectively with their friends. So, the role of the counselor. Counselors are not there to tell people what to do, but instead, they help guide conversations by asking questions that encourage deeper thinking. Their goal is to help kids and teens explore their thoughts and emotions, which can help them make their own decisions and solve problems. So here's how counselors often work with young people. They might ask the question like, "How did that make you feel in your body?" to help kids and teens connect their feelings to their physical sensations. They can use art, games, storytelling to help the child or youth express emotions that might be hard to talk about directly. They may introduce relaxation techniques or coping strategies to help manage the stress, such as deep breathing exercises, journaling, or drawing. You can say to your young person, "Counselors will help you understand your feelings better so you can find ways to feel better." The counselor's role is to help your child discover solutions themselves, rather than offering ready-made answers. So, the role of the caregiver. When a child or youth attends counseling, the caregivers play an important part in supporting their emotional and mental development. By reassuring your young person of the safety and advantages of therapy and creating a trusting and non judgmental atmosphere, caregivers offer a key emotional support. Caregivers collaborate with the therapist to share insight and concerns. They help ensure consistency in attending sessions, and importantly, caregivers need to respect the child or youth's confidentiality and privacy. By modeling healthy coping strategies and reinforcing those therapeutic goals at home, caregivers support their young person progress and reinforce those positive behaviors. They also keep an eye on behavioral changes in their child or youth. Caregivers are there to show patience in the face of obstacles and provide helpful assistance like transportation or some of those pre-session conversations that might happen. Most importantly, caregivers play a vital role in helping their young person through family dynamics and creating a healthy, loving atmosphere that fosters their overall well-being. By participating, caregivers help their young ones succeed in treatment by encouraging the emotional growth, resilience, and trust. So, everyone may be introducing counseling at different stages of a young person's life. So, here are some talking tips by age. So, ages 3 to 7. So, at this age, children have limited understanding of complex concepts. You want to keep things very simple and reassuring, using analogies they can relate to, such as talking about feelings like they're doctors for emotions. You can also emphasize the importance of feeling better. You could possibly say, counseling's like talking to a helper can make you feel better. Counselors help you talk about feelings like when you're sad or mad. They're kind of like doctors, but instead of fixing your body, they help you with your emotions. So ages 8 to 12. So at this age, children can start to understand the idea of counseling as a resource for understanding and managing their emotions. You might introduce them to the idea that many other kids also talk to counselors and that it's perfectly normal. You could say a counselor is someone who listens and can help solve problems you might not know how to handle yourself. They help you understand your feelings, like when you're worried or upset. You can think of them like a school counselor, but for things that happen in your life outside of school too. It's important to normalize it. You can say lots of kids talk to counselors when they need help or just want someone to talk to. So ages 13 and plus. For teens, it's crucial to address the privacy and autonomy aspect of counseling. They may be wary about sharing personal feelings, especially if they're worried about others finding out. You'll want to stress that what they say in counseling stays between them and the counselor, unless there's a serious concern about safety. So you could say, counseling is a private space where you can talk about anything on your mind. The counselor helps you explore your feelings and find ways to handle stress, worry, or anything that's bothering you. You can also let them know it's your choice to talk about what you want. You can share as much or as little that you're comfortable with. So at Dragonfly, counselors help children and youth by using metaphors or simple explanations to make counseling feel approachable and understandable. So here are a couple examples. So for children, we have Stephanie, our client service manager. She says, counseling is a special time where you get to talk to a kind and caring person who wants to help you feel better. You can share anything that's on your mind, like big feelings, worries, or things that make you happy. It's a safe and confidential space where the counselor will listen, help you understand your feelings, and teach you ways to feel better when you're upset or confused. Then we have Sherry, our client service coordinator. She says, imagine you have a backpack. Inside are all of those feelings, happy ones, sad ones, and heavy ones. Sometimes the heavy ones make the backpack hard to carry. A counselor helps you take out the heavy ones, look at them together, and find ways to make that backpack lighter. For youth, Stephanie, our client service manager, says, counseling is a safe and private space where you can talk about anything on your mind. Stress, worries, school, friendships, or family. A counselor is there to listen without judgment and help you find ways to handle challenges and feel more in control. Think of it as having someone in your corner who supports you and helps you figure things out in a way that works best for you. Then we have Sherry, our client service coordinator, says, counseling is like having a helper for your feelings. Just like you go to a doctor when your body feels sick, a counselor helps you when your heart or mind feels sad, worried, or confused. They are like a big feeling helper who listens to you, talks to you, and helps you find ways to feel better. You can tell them anything, and they won't get mad or tell you what to do. They just want to help you feel happy and safe. So a few extra tips when you're having these conversations is to avoid labels. Don't label counseling as something only for people with problems. Frame it as a tool to help anyone feel better when things get tough. It's good to use examples, so you can mention a famous person or someone they know who might see a counselor. This can make it more relatable and seem more normal to them. And it's important to be prepared to answer questions and clarify any doubts. They might worry about privacy or how it works, so keep the conversation open and ongoing. So to conclude this webinar, remember, as caregivers, your role is critical in helping children and youth feel comfortable and open to the idea of counseling. By providing clear explanations, using age-appropriate language, and reassuring your child or teen, you can help normalize counseling as a helpful and non-threatening tool for understanding their feelings. Counseling isn't a sign of weakness, but an opportunity for growth. Helping children and teens view counseling as a resource for better mental and emotional health, rather than something to fear or avoid. If you approach it with compassion and honesty, you're laying the groundwork for an ongoing, supportive relationship with a counselor and better emotional well-being for your young person. By making counseling feel safe, normal, and supportive, you give children and teens the tools to navigate the challenges they face, develop emotional intelligence, and manage their feelings in healthy ways. So thank you for taking the time to listen. I wish you all the best conversations ahead, and with any more questions or concerns, Dragonfly is always here to help.